Hi, my teachers, principals, educators. We are going through this very interesting concept called CBT, Cognitive Behavior Therapy. See, especially in a teaching profession or in a coaching profession or in a training profession or mentoring profession, the equation between the coach and the coachee is very, very important. The amount of mutual trust, the amount of mutual respect is very, very important. That's why I call this episode From Teaching to Empowering. You want the student to do something voluntarily, which is against what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do mathematics problem, you want him to do it. He doesn't want to memorize a particular poem, you want him to do it. He doesn't like a particular subject, you want him to love that subject. And that is possible only when you understand the mind issue. See, you could be the best software engineer. You could be having the, the highest knowledge. But if you don't understand the program, you will not be able to do it. You should understand what's happening. Sometime back, if you remember, I discussed about methodology and technology. Today, my office had a peculiar problem. We were uploading a particular episode and there is a music track. 3 times we upload, all the 3 times it was not on. It didn't go into the Facebook or whatever. Because we used a particular music which was patented. And the person who did it understood, oh, this is the problem, so he changed it, we were able to do it. That means we can get the outcome from the same computer for the same episode if you understand what is preventing. So this is the difference between methodology and technology. Teaching is a technology, please understand. Teaching is not a methodology. If teaching is a methodology, for a second standard, if you want to teach 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, if you ask any social science teacher to go and teach, he knows 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, he goes into the classroom, well, I know it. But a math teacher will have a different approach to teach. In a school, we were discussing about the various subjects and people felt, and it is true scientifically, it is true statistically, that 93% of the world population finds mathematics difficult. I was discussing with a maths expert. He has been running a coaching institute for the last 30 years. He says, sir, this is very simple. Once we understand it is easy to solve the maths problem. Let's say chemistry is about 20% problem oriented, 80% theory. Physics, maybe it is more problem oriented and more than chemistry, and there is of course theory. But when it comes to maths, it is 100% problem solving. 100% problem solving. If this is understood, then there is no problem. So you need to understand the technology of the mind, the technology of teaching. So let me explain to you. In a cognitive model, I want you to take a piece of paper and start writing, because I will be using the word cognitive model. There is a situation and that situation triggers some thought which I call it as automatic thoughts. In the last episode I explained to you about automatic thought. And the automatic thoughts kindles your feelings, your emotions, and your automatic thought also results in a particular type of behavior, and it is a set. It's a set. How you think about a situation affects how we feel and how we behave. I am discussing with you how you are tempted to think in a particular pattern. See, in a teacher's training class, I don't know to what extent basic psychology is taught. We need to understand. In fact, today's teacher should know more about psychology than yesterday's teachers. You know why? Yesterday's teachers, I am talking about not yesterday, not 24 hours before, I am talking about 40 years, 50 years ago, when the students were not having that much of distractions. They came to school to learn. They had all the mindset and focus to pick up. And so the role of a teacher was just to present a topic. That's not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore. Today's teacher has to fight against odds, because there are so many people dragging the attention of the student. So you need to be an expert. For example, today a driver has to be more equipped to handle the traffic than 40 years ago. When you are walking on the streets, you have been living for a long period of time. Think about the same road, how it was 40 years ago, how freely you walked. If you are going to walk the way you walked 40 years ago, you know the consequence. So a teacher should understand. So this is a very, very important topic I am discussing for all the teachers. The cognitive model. This is a situation, and the situation creates certain thoughts, and the thoughts trigger certain feelings and emotions, and you behave in a particular way. Let me give an example. A couple of days ago, I was discussing with the principal of a school. There was a sports day. And the school believes in a high amount of discipline and social behavior. So the principals get a photograph. A parent obviously has sent that photograph. In that, a student is having a mobile phone in his hand, and with his friend chit-chatting. They were drinking, they were eating. And the parent says, this is the quality of your school. This is how you are indisciplined. Your children are indisciplined. Because the school has a very high reputation for discipline, and the parents want or expect that standard. The principal got really wild. And the first thing the principal did was to address the group of students, in which that student was also there, and gave a big lecture how a person should not have behaved like that. And of course he did not shame that student, but he showed that photograph and said, this is not what I wanted. Then the principal goes back to his chamber. The situation is what? Outside, the student in his mufti uniform with a mobile phone, drinking and chit-chatting with his friends. So, this principal believes that should not have taken place because there is a sports day activity going on. And so, it affected how he felt angry, and he could not even wait. He called the students and then blasted them. The student walks in, sir, I want to talk to you. Yeah, come on, tell me. Sir, I felt very bad when he showed my photograph. I also felt very bad. But you know the situation. I said, yes, the sports day going on. You were conveniently standing and discussing with your friends, and how much time is spent on organizing the sports day, how much time is spent, money is spent, and VIP is coming and all that stuff. Then he said, that time was 2:30 in the afternoon, sir. The sports day was over at 1 o'clock. You were there. And he said, sir, that was my birthday. I came to school as early as 7:30 because I'm a sports person and the VIP was an acknowledged sports personality. I listened to him till last minute. Even after the victory march, I was there. Till everybody left, I was there. And then if it had been a working day, we would have celebrated our birthday in the prayer. It happened to be on a holiday. And so what we took was soft drink, nothing hot drink. We were only eating snacks. See how the whole thing has changed. Situation the same. The difference is my automatic thought. My automatic thought in the earlier thing, how dare he did that? How dare, being a sports person, he was not giving importance. So obviously I was feeling hurt. I was feeling emotionally hurt, disappointed, upset, angry. And what happened? My behavior was, next day I went and said these words. Then of course, I told that student, I'm sorry about it, I should not have said. And fine, we were able to establish a good rapport. Now what will happen if I stand to my ego and say, no, you should not have done that. No, this is not what you should have done. Now, given my position as the principal of the school, given my position as the authority there, I can silence him, but I would have switched off. I would have disconnected our emotional rapport. This is what should not happen in a relationship situation, especially in a teaching-taught relationship, taught-teacher relationship. You know what? Unless the mind is close, unless emotionally we are near, we won't be able to do justice for our job. It's something like a software engineer understanding the program installed. It is something like a mother understanding the children's mood. Because something very interesting is taking place, teaching and learning. In a different series of episodes, I am explaining to the teachers the gap between teaching and learning, the gap between teaching and empowering students. So I just took one example to explain to you how I could be mistaken completely, or I could mistake somebody completely. Now I'll give you one more cognitive model. Maybe you should take down notes and then relate it to your day-to-day classroom situation. Again, one more classroom model situation. My students did not do the homework. Let us take simple example. You gave the homework and the student did not do the homework. Now, what are the automatic thoughts? The students are irresponsible. The students are irresponsible. And so, if the automatic thought is they are irresponsible, what are the reactions? So, you need to understand in the cognitive model, and please underline this word, cognitive model. This is a model. Our ability to understand behavior, our ability to link behavior and emotion, our ability to understand behavior, emotion and our physiology, the way we interact with others. Our reactions could be threefold. One reaction is behavior. As I said in the previous section little earlier, I was shouting at the peak of my voice. The other one is my emotional, angry, and my physiological. Next time when you are in conversation with some people, notice their microfacial expression. Microfacial expressions. So, in a cognitive model, you consider the situation, distance yourself, and ask yourself, what is your automatic thought? Be very specific. You write down. I will also give you a little more homework. As we were discussing this, take a piece of paper and start writing one more incident. For example, the situation is you are teaching in the classroom. One student is chit-chatting with the neighbor. Take that. So, situation, my student X was not attentive, is chit-chatting. Then you write down your automatic thought. You can relate it. You can take an incident which took place in your classroom today. And you write down your automatic thought. Please understand, as I explained to you in a previous episode, thoughts are different, feelings are different. Okay? So, what was your automatic thought? Write it down. And then, how did you react in terms of your behavior? And what was your feeling? And how was your facial expression? The way you responded, how was the reaction of that student concerned? How was he behaving? So, this is the second example. Let me give you another situation. In a cognitive model, situation, automatic thought, reaction, emotional, behavioral, physiological. This is very clear. Now, let's say that you are a student, right? You arrive late for the class, or a student arrives late for the class, and the student thinks, oh my God, it's bad, I should not do it, I am going to miss something important. I want you to focus a little more into this camera so that you understand. So, the situation is the student is late, and the student automatic thought is, oh my God, I am late, it's bad, I am going to miss something important. And so, what could be the emotion like? Sad, guilty, afraid of the consequence. So, there is a situation coming late, there is an automatic thought, the reaction is emotional. Behavioral wise, he will run fast, catch up with time. And physiological, stooped shoulders, eyes down, shivering as he enters the class. Why? Because this is triggered, this behavior physiological is reflected by his emotion, and that is because of his automatic thought. This is scenario 1. Let's take that same thing. Situation is you are late for the class. Now let's say that instead of, oh my God, it is bad, I should not do it, I am going to miss something important. Instead of that, what if? It doesn't really, I really don't care. Supposing, I don't care attitude. Now, the same situation, instead of this thought, what if? I really don't care. And if that is the automatic thought, feel relaxed. If that is the automatic thought, then he feel relaxed, he walks slowly, talks to his friends, cuts a joke, right? And casually he comes, smiles with a smile on his face, sarcastic. Look at those students who are on time, as though they have made a mistake and he has come on time. He has done the right thing. So this is very, 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 very important. Same situation, you change the thought and you change your behavior. This cognitive behavior therapy topic is so interesting. You have to connect it with the classroom. As I said, being a coach, being a teacher is quite different, especially when you are dealing with human beings. In fact, It applies even if you are not dealing with human beings. I want you to watch some of the Facebook postings where the dogs are so affectionate, when the dogs, parrots, right, elephants, tigers, there are people, the behavioral experts, animal behavioralist, they can kiss a tiger, they can hug a lion, right? So the question is, do you understand, do you equate yourself, how do you connect emotionally is very, very, very important. If you make a mistake here, you are making a mistake forever. I hope you are familiar with this term now, cognitive behavior therapy, and what I mentioned, cognitive model consisting of two components, situation, automatic thought, the way you react, how the reaction changes your behavior, emotions, and psychological or physiological way you respond. Over this weekend, I want you to recall various things that happened in your classroom. Maybe you can discuss in groups of 5 or 6 teachers, exchange your views, how changing a thought will change your emotion and you change yourself. See you next week.
SRMJV is not just a school, it's a one-time experience.
VM Nagar, Tiruvallur,